Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our NBA bets for Monday, January 27. Let's get into it. Welcome back to the channel. It's your boy Chef D, and I'm here to bring you the winning ingredients for our January 27th NBA bet slate. But before we dive into that, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Make sure you follow me on Instagram and Twitter at MetsThatShetsD. Don't forget about that TikTok at Chef_D91. And don't forget about that Patreon. And I'm going to say it again. Don't forget about that Patreon because y'all are forgetting about the Patreon. We're right now at the homepage of the YouTube channel, currently at 9.04 thousand subscribers. This is the road to 10K, and we're well on our way because you guys are showing up each and every single day. If you already subscribed, continue to like and comment. That helps the YouTube algorithm so we can go to a much broader audience. And speaking of that Patreon, we had a phenomenal night in football. The two main plays, the two teams that people kept going against, and I didn't understand why. I don't know why people went with the Commanders, and I don't know why they took the points. But we had Eagles -6, and if you were scared to take that, you could take the Eagles money line. All right. The other one was the Chiefs, and I told you in the video, and it got worse. Getting closer to this game, it was 80% of the bets and money all over the Buffalo Bills, but there was reverse line movement on the Chiefs. Why are we fading the Chiefs? Why do you not like money? I don't understand. I don't know why people were just like, oh, I'm sick of watching them. I'm gonna bet. That doesn't make sense. You shouldn't be betting. You shouldn't be betting. You're wasting your time. You're wasting your time and your money. Why? Because you're a hater. We've seen what the Patriots did. Why are you fading what's winning? Take it. Just take it. So Eagles and Chiefs on the money line if you signed up. Also, for the futures, I had the Chiefs going to the Super Bowl, and everyone that's in the Patreon that took that future is in the driver's seat yet again. If you listen to me for the championship football game, you were in the driver's seat. I had Ohio State, I had Notre Dame. If you listen to me for the future in MLB, I gave you the Dodgers like the first month of the season. You were in the driver's seat yet again. You gotta sign up right now and don't miss out on these crazy futures. All right, that's 3 in a row, guys. That's 3 in a row. I'm so excited to announce I have partnered with BetStamp and Sign Up Expert to provide you guys with an easier way to sign up with any sportsbook in your area. If you go to the link in the description down below, you will be directed to this page you see here. It automatically displays all available sportsbooks in your area plus their current promotions. For example, you could take the plays given in this video and apply it to any other sportsbooks you don't currently have and reap the rewards. Now let's get into the slate. First game up here in Rocket Mortgage Fieldhouse, Cleveland Cavaliers 36-9. We got the Detroit Pistons on the other end, 23-22. Looking at the current odds for this game here, Cavaliers going through a rough patch. Still, big favorites here at home, -500 with the comeback of the Pistons at a +375. Point spread at a 10.5. Total points at 234.5. Public bet percentage here, 91% of the bets, 95% of the money, all over Cleveland. For the point spread, it's a little bit opposite here. Sharps and public a little bit more on the side of Detroit. 52% of the bets towards Detroit and 54% of the money towards the Cleveland Cavaliers to cover. So it's pretty split down the middle there. And for the total points, 56% of the bets, 60% of the money is towards the over 234.5. Now these two teams did play earlier in the season in October. This is a similar line here with the spread at a 10.5, but the total points was drastically down by 11. All right, they jumped it up for a reason here. The first game went under 224. This game here is jumped up all the way to 234.5. All right. Now, this here, let's get to the injury report before I get into my narrative here. Detroit Pistons, Tobias Harris, game time decision. Jaden Ivey, obviously, he's going to be out for pretty much this whole season. All right. Cleveland Cavaliers, Isaac Okoro out, Dean Wade out, Karis LeVert still out. Luke Travers is game time decision in this one here. And in this game, we have the Cleveland Cavaliers on a little bit of a struggle here. Lost to Houston, lost to Philly. That was embarrassing there. And then lost to Houston again. All right, Detroit was hot about 2 weeks ago, and they're going through a little bit of a rough patch here, losing 3 out of their last 5 games. They did beat Houston, which Cleveland couldn't, and they did beat Atlanta, but lost to Orlando. Orlando's finally getting healthy now, all right? This could be a little bit of a revenge spot. Cleveland, obviously, bad stretch of games on the road. They're coming back home here. They were home against Houston here, and so this is a second opportunity to get things right. This is their first 3-game losing streak. A lot of people are looking away from the Cavaliers right now, not trustworthy. We're going to go back to the well here. I would like the 9.5. It was 9.5 about a couple hours ago. It moved up to 10.5. I'm taking the Cavaliers to cover this spread, okay? I like the Cavaliers to bounce back in this spot against the Pistons. They can definitely outscore them here. It's kind of a mismatch, the way and how efficient this Cavaliers offense is and how they dominate on the glass as well. And we're going to go with the over 234.5. I can see the Cavaliers putting up a really big number here, getting some of the demons out of this system and putting up like 120 plus in this spot in a very high scoring environment between the Cavs and the Pistons. So Cavs cover and the over 234.5. In Barclays Center here, we have the Brooklyn Nets 14-32 going up against the Sacramento Kings here 23-22. Looking at the current odds here, Kings big road favorites here, minus 550 on the money line with the comeback of the Nets at a plus 400. Point spread at a 10.5. Total points at 221.5. Public bet percentage here, 85% of the bets, 95% of the money all over Sacramento. For the point spread, 60% of the bet, 67% of the money towards the Kings to cover the 10.5. And for the total points, 71% of the bets and 74% of the money towards the over 221.5. All right. Injury report here for these two teams. No injuries for the Sacramento Kings. We have some injuries here yet again for the Brooklyn Nets. And this has been the story all season long. All right. Trendon Watford out. Ben Simmons, game time decision. Cam Johnson out. Cam Thomas out. And Bogdanovich out as well. So Cam Thomas and Cam Johnson are usually the guys. If you see them in the lineup, then you can have some confidence here and for an upset, or at least that the Nets are going to play tough and cover. Other than that, you're looking at Keon Johnson, Nick Claxton, Clowney, a bunch of G Leaguers here that are trying to compete with some actual NBA players here in the Sacramento Kings. So this spot here is going to be all over the Kings for me. If we're looking at a previous matchup, they did play earlier in the season. We got a revenge spot here yet again. This was the Brooklyn Nets here beating the Kings on the road here. Same line, 10.5. Kings were favorited. Same money line, minus 500. Nets upsetted them in that game. This was earlier in the season when the Sacramento Kings were still trying to figure out things. This was before Doug Christie being coach. And as you can see, what I said, Cam Johnson and Cam Thomas, those are key factors for the Brooklyn Nets. If you see these guys in, then they have a very good chance to compete, all right? Cam Johnson, 16 points. Cam Thomas, 34. They're going to be missing this game. That's a lot of points here, all right? So for this game here, we're going to go right back to the well. We're going Kings to cover by 10.5. Love that spot here. And I'm going to lean towards the over 221.5. If you don't feel comfortable with that total, I would take the over on the team total of the Sacramento Kings, all right? That's how you can get creative here. If you want to avoid the total, complete total, just take the Kings to score over their team total. In Spectrum Center here, we have the Charlotte Hornets 12-30 going up against the LA Lakers 25-18. Looking for the current odds for this game here. We have the LA Lakers as road favorites here at minus 225 with the comeback of the Hornets at a plus 185. For the point spread, we have the point spread at a 5.5. So very odd number here. A lot of confidence on this line coming out here with the Lakers on the road. So point spread at 5.5. And then we have the Total points at 222.5. All right, so looking at this injury report, we're going to check on that in 2 seconds here. Injury report for, matter of fact, public bet percentage here. 85% of the bets, 84% of the money all over the Lakers for the point spread. 80% of the bets, 81% of the money all over the Lakers to cover. And then for the total points, 76% of the bets, 79% of the money for the over 222.5. All right. Injury report for these two teams. Lakers dealing with some outs. Christian Wood out. Hood Schifino out. Gabe Vincent, game time decision. Rui Hachimura, game time decision. And LeBron James, game time decision. But he's usually a GTD. All right. But he's most likely going to play here. All right. For the Hornets, just Cody Martin out for them. And these two teams have been playing better basketball, all right? Lakers a little bit hotter here. 4 out of the last 5 games has been wins. They did take advantage of Washington and the Brooklyn Nets, but they had a solid win against Boston and against Golden State there, all right? So 2 solid wins, 2 you should have won that anyway there. Charlotte Hornets trying to turn things around. Got a good win over Chicago, good win over Dallas, and over New Orleans as well in a blowout win. So they really showed up in that game there with LaMelo Ball coming back in that one. That Portland game, there was no LaMelo and they lost that one. And then Memphis is tough, period, especially in the grindhouse. So Hornets are playing much better basketball here as of late. Let's look at this total at 222.5. In the last 5 games, they've gone over this total easily. All right. 231, 264, 236, 245, and 234, 242. So all of the overs have hit every single time. So top play here in this one. I expect this to be a high scoring matchup, and both of these teams to put on a show. Especially with LaMelo Ball getting snubbed for the All-Star game. Love the over 222.5. If we're going with value here, give me the points on the Hornets. I'm not putting trust in the LA Lakers here, especially where we got a public favorite here as a road favorite. It's a little bit of a question mark. I understand the Lakers have been playing a little bit better basketball here, but Charlotte Hornets, the way LaMelo is playing right now with this unit, I have a little more confidence in this spot here. Give me the plus 5.5, and the best confidence. If you're scared of the Hornets, give me the over in 222.5. In TD Garden here, we have the Boston Celtics 32-14 going up against the Houston Rockets 30-14 here. Looking at the current odds for this one, we have the Celtics minus 250 on the money line with the comeback of the Rockets at a plus 200. Point spread at 6.5. Total points at 221.5. Public bet percentage here, 91% of the bets, 95% of the money here on Boston. For the point spread, 61% of the bets, 58% of the money toward the Celtics to cover the 6.5. And then for the total points here, 72% of the bets, 76% of the money towards the over 221.5. All right. Looking at the injury report here for these two teams. Houston Rockets here, Cam Whitmore, game time decision, and Jabari Smith is still out. He's going to be out for a whole month, all the way until February 21st is his earliest return date. Boston Celtics, we're waiting on 2 guys, Al Horford, game time decision, and Derek White, game time decision. All right. These 2 teams already played each other earlier, about 23 days ago, and that was a 23-point win. Isn't that convenient? In that one there, the Celtics dominated the Houston Rockets in that game, and now the Houston Rockets are going to be going up against Celtics here in TD Garden in this particular spot here. So let me look at one thing really quick. All right. So the Rockets are on. This is going to be the front end of a back-to-back here. All right. Next game, they do go into Atlanta. All right. So this is more of a motivated spot here. All right, they got embarrassed in at home against Boston, 23-point blowout, and I think all their focus is going to be on this game. If we're looking at what the line was set at, Rockets were 3-point underdogs in that game as well, and they lost and got blown out. All right, they got blown out and it went under. Majority of those Houston games at home usually go under because they're a very good defensive team. And then this one here, it went from 3.5. They bumped it up 6.5 points. They're giving them 3 more points here. And the Celtics are home, which is that is a benefit for them. The 221 total, it stays exactly the same. All right. So this game here, I see this more as a back and forth type of environment. Houston keeps it close in this one here for a little bit of revenge. I think Houston shows up in this game before they face Atlanta Hawks. All right. So give me the Houston Rockets plus 6.5. That's a ton of value there. We got the motivation factor here. You saw what the Celtics did to Houston 23 days ago, and now we're giving 6.5 points here. And I have trust in this defense here with the Houston Rockets, especially with Amin Thompson, the way he's been playing. I love what I'm seeing out of him. So plus 6.5. And I'm going to go with the over 221.5 in a high-scoring environment, back and forth between Houston Rockets and Celtics. It's going to be an exciting game to watch, definitely. And Kaseya Center here, we have the Miami Heat 22-22 going up against the Orlando Magic 24-23. Looking at the current odds for this one here, Magic road favorites minus 120 on the money line with the comeback of the Miami Heat at a plus 100. Point spread at a 1.5. Total points at 207.5. Public bet percentage here, 69% of the bet, 64% of the money towards the Miami Heat here. So sharps and public all over the underdog. So we kind of got like a public underdog here. Point spread, 55% of the bets towards Orlando to cover, 65% of the money towards Orlando to cover as well. For the total points, 81% of the bets, 83% of the money towards the over 207.5. All right. Injury report here for these two teams. Looking at the Orlando Magic, they're getting a little bit healthier now. They got Franz Wagner back. Obviously, they got Banchero back. So that's really the big key factor there between those two in this starting five. Gary Harris is out. Goga Batadze is a GTD. Jalen Suggs, GTD. Moritz Wagner, the brother, is out for the season. All right. But as long as they got Franz Wagner back, that's a big plus there for the Magic. For the Miami Heat, obviously, Jimmy Butler is still suspended. And then we have Miami Heat here. Josh Richardson out. Isaiah Stevens, game time decision. And Drew Smith out for the season. So this spot here, these two teams, looking at the Orlando Magic, they've lost 4 of their last 5 games. They've really been struggling, trying to get things right with getting everyone back healthy. So this could be a big turnaround here. They just beat Detroit, and now they're going up against their division rival here. Can they get something going on a roll? Miami Heat struggling as well. They've lost 3 out of the last 5 games as well. They beat Brooklyn and San Antonio. And now they're going up against the Orlando Magic here. So looking at the line, how they set it, their first matchup was literally this same exact line, but the Magic were favorited. And in this spot here, Magic were underdogs. Total was at 208, and that went towards the over. For this one here, we have a 2.5-point favorite for Magic at home. That went over to 204. And then the third matchup went under when it bumped right back up to 208. And we had the underdog yet again here, and the Magic come through in this spot. So between the 3 matchups, twice the underdog showed up and won. All right. This particular spot here, I think it's too much turmoil going on with the Miami Heat. A lot of issues here with Jimmy Butler, what they're going to decide to do with him. They continue to spin him. He doesn't want to show up for the team. I like what I'm seeing out of Orlando getting healthier and healthier. I'm going to be going with the Magic. I'm going to fade the public here, especially on that money line part, 69% and 64%. Give me the Magic on the money line. And for the total, I do think that these two teams will score enough points like we see it in the first 2 matchups. Give me the over on the 207.5. In Scotiabank Arena here, we have the Toronto Raptors. 13-32, going up against the New Orleans Pelicans here, 12-34. Looking at the current odds for this one, we have the Raptors as home favorites, minus 125 on the money line, with the comeback of the Pelicans at a plus 105. Point spread at a 1.5. and total points at 232.5. For the public bet percentage here, 73% of the bets, 92% of the money all over Toronto. For the point spread, 63% of the bets, 57% of the money all over Toronto to cover. And for the total points, this one's a little bit split here, 54% of the bets towards the over and 57% of the money towards the over 232.5. Public bet percentage. Injury report for the Pelicans here. Keon Brooks is going to be out for this game. DeJounte Murray, game time decision. Brandon Ingram is out, and Herbert Jones is out. All right. So major factors there. Ingram and Jones have been out for a while now. For the Raptors, Ochai Agbaji is going to be game time decision. Kelly Olynyk, game time decision. Emmanuel Quickly is out, and Jakob Poeltl is game time decision. So we really got to wait on these three guys. These are key pieces in the Raptors offense here, despite the fact this is a team getting healthier. All right. So they got RJ Barrett back. They got, obviously, Grady Dick. They got Scotty Barnes, and Bruce Brown is back as well. So this is a team turning the corner, and this is why you're looking at the last 5 games here, and you're seeing a little bit of a hot stretch. The Raptors beat Boston, beat Orlando, beat Atlanta twice in Atlanta. So very tough environments there. And the Toronto Raptors came up in spades there. Pelicans still struggling. The only wins they have in the last 5 games were over the lonely Utah Jazz that did not even play Markkanen. All right. They had a ton of injuries, and they took advantage of that. All right. Pelicans beat the Charlotte Hornets and beat Memphis. Very good win there. All right. Now, no. They lost. Excuse me. Lost to Charlotte and lost to Memphis. The Charlotte loss is embarrassing because that was a team in Charlotte that had no one, and they got absolutely torched in that game. So Toronto Raptors are clearly the side I'm going to be leaning on. Usually I like the revenge factor here, but there is no positive signs for me with this New Orleans team, and I'm loving what I'm seeing, how the Toronto Raptors are turning their season around, and they play much better at home. This is a different team on the road and at home, all right? The Raptors on the road, they only have 1 win all year. They're like 1-18. The Raptors at home are actually competitive. That's why they're 10-13 at home. All right, getting back healthy, I think they can definitely go over 500 at home very quickly. All right, give me the Raptors on the money line. Raptors to cover the 1.5, and for the total, I think they can put up a big number here. Pelicans play no defense. Give me the over on the 232.5. In United Center here, we have Chicago Bulls 19-27 going up against the Denver Nuggets 28-17. Looking at the current odds for this one, Nuggets road favorites minus 300 on the money line with the comeback of the Bulls at a plus 240. Point spread at a 7.5. Total points at 244.5. Public bet percentage here, 84% of the bets, 99% of the money all over Denver. For the point spread, 72% of the bets, 79% of the money towards Denver to cover. And for the total, we have 59% of the bets and 58% of the money towards the under 244.5. All right, injury report here for these two teams. Starting off with the Nuggets, Spencer Jones is game time decision. Vlatko Cancer is going to be out, and Deron Holmes is going to be out for the season. For the Bulls, Torrey Craig is out, and Kobe White is out. So that's a major loss there for the Chicago Bulls, and that's why they have struggled as of late. They had a horrific loss against Philly, got blown out by Golden State, and then got an easy win against the Clippers, and that was the game with no Kawhi Leonard. All right, and then lost to they have had some horrific losses here if we're looking at the last 5 games, man. For the Denver Nuggets on the other end, red hot. They just lost to the division rival there in the Minnesota Timberwolves. That's fine. They usually battle out anyway, but we have great wins here for the Denver Nuggets the last 5 games, putting up big numbers against Miami, Orlando, Philly, and Sacramento. I think this is going to be a clean sweep in this one. Give me the Denver Nuggets to win on the money line, like the minus 300. Give me the Nuggets to cover the 7.5. And give me the under on the total of 244.5. This total is way too high. If we go to the last 6 matchups between the Bulls and the Nuggets, they have not come close, anywhere close to this total of 244.5. Love the under 244.5 with this total. In Madison Square Garden here, we have the New York Knicks 30-16 going up against the Memphis Grizzlies 31-15. This is a special matchup here between these two teams. Grizzlies getting healthier. As long as Ja Morant is back, this is a very, very good game here. Knicks fully healthy, and this one is in the Garden. Ja Morant under the bright lights. I cannot wait to watch this one. Knicks home favorites -170 with the comeback of the Grizzlies at a +140. Point spread at a 3.5. Total points at 242.5. Public bet percentage here, 79% of the bets, 93% of the money here towards the New York Knicks. For the point spread, 59% of the bets, 50% of the money towards the Grizzlies to cover. And for the total here, 50% of the bets towards the over, 51% of the money towards the under. So it's really split here between sharps and public here on the total points. All right. For the injury report, Grizzlies dealing with some injuries here. Vince Williams out. LaRavia, game time decision. Aldama, game time decision. Marcus Smart out. And Cam Spencer is out. For the New York Knicks, Hug Porty is going to be a game time decision. Dad Diaz is out. Josh Hart is game time decision. Mitchell Robinson is out, and Kevin McClure is going to be out as well. Robinson and Kevin have been out for a while now. Josh Hart is new to this injury report. Hopefully he can give it a go in this spot here. Grizzlies and Knicks. Knicks have won 4 out of the last 5 games. Only lost against Minnesota, who's a very tough opponent there, but a very good win against a red-hot Sacramento Kings team, and then a good win over Atlanta as well. Memphis, they've been beating up on some lesser competition here as of late. Utah, New Orleans, Charlotte, and San Antonio, and they got that very close win against Minnesota here. I think they're going to be stepping into a little bit of a situation with their 6-game winning streak. I think the Knicks are going to be very formidable in this spot, but I do see a high-scoring event here between the Grizzlies and the Knicks. We got both of these teams are top 6 in the three-point percentage as well, and they're top 4 in points per game. So I think I see a big number in this one. Love the over 242.5. A lot of people are going to be scared of that total, but I think it's equal on both sides here that it can go over this total here. So over 242.5, and give me the Knicks on the money line. I'm not going to play with the point spread. Ultimately, I do think that the Knicks get this win here and beat the Grizzlies a 3rd time in a row in their all-time record. All right. So those are going to be our selections for the Monday slate. I will post the remaining games, all right, in the description section of what plays I like in those remaining games. It should be like 3 of them. I'm going to post it down below in the description section. Also down there, the Patreon link is there. You should get connected. You're going to have access to daily bets, future bets, and access to that group chat that goes out 24/7. This is your boy Chef D. I'll be back very soon, and peace out.